Welcome to AGORACOM, the Small Cap Epicenter, and AGORACOM TV, a daily, fast-paced, edgy show that brings you the best press releases out of the small cap world every morning before they open, so you can hopefully profit from them and maybe even find your next great small cap investment. Now, it's Tuesday, October the 30th. It's our biggest news day yet on AGORACOM TV. Typically, we like to keep it to 3 or 4 great press releases, but we've got 6 for you today, and it's just hard to ignore because we've got big numbers out of companies on both sides of the border. So let's get right to it. Let's start off with OSI Geospatial. Trades on both the U.S. and Canadian markets. In Canada, TSX under the stock symbol OSI. In the U.S. on the OTC under the stock symbol OSIIF. They announced a contract extension with the U.S. Army of an additional $1.2 million on a pre-existing contract. The work is expected to be performed over the next 8 to 12 months, and I've got a quote here from the company's CEO. I'm pleased with our continued success with the U.S. Army and specifically the significant contribution we're making to this very important program. Now, they don't provide details of the program for obvious reasons, but Ken Kirkpatrick, President CEO of OSI Geospatial, goes on to add, we've expanded our scope on this program to almost $3 million. So from 1.8, it's now taken up to $1.3 million. And here's the kicker. I'm confident that we'll benefit from additional scope expansion in the future. So obviously Ken there is assuming or knows that, in fact, this contract's only going to get bigger. That's great news for this company. Small cap company, U.S. Army, Department of Defense. That's great business. They're trading right now at 50 cents. Next up, Thermal Energy. This is the first time a company has made a back-to-back appearance on AGORACOM TV. Trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the stock symbol TMG. They reported record revenues for Q1. First time ever that Q1 revenues have topped over $1 million. This is for the quarter ended August 31st, 2008. Revenues were a total of $1.048, so $1,048,000 versus just $102,000 last year, so almost a tenfold increase. Now, net losses were $420,000. That's actually down for the same period last year where they had $512,000. So what you've got is a situation of increasing revenues and decreasing losses. That's great. The company also expects, here's the kicker on this one, they also expect to be announcing increasing quarter-over-quarter numbers for the remainder of the year and projecting that they're going to move on to a record year. The company right now is trading at 30 cents. Next up, Pacific Safety Products trades on the TSX Venture under the stock symbol PSP. They received a contract extension worth $750,000. Now, this one here is very short on details because it seems like it's a very confidential Department of Defense contract. But what we do know is for the production of additional ballistic vests for a Canadian customer. I'm assuming that's got to be the Canadian military over in Afghanistan. And delivery is going to be spread out over the next 4 months. So delivery is going to take place pretty quickly. Since we're short on details, let's go into who PSP is. And we like this. They're the largest manufacturer of armor in Canada. Their clients include the Canadian Department of Defense, naturally, federal government agencies, and major law enforcement organizations. But beyond Canada, they also have a subsidiary in the U.S. that provides body armor products to U.S.-based law enforcement and private security firms. So they've got great coverage throughout North America, and they're trading right now at 99 cents. Next up, Nightingale Informatics trades on the TSX Venture, also on the stock symbol NGH. They're making a repeat performance here. I really like Nightingale Informatics because they're in the electronic medical records business. And if you haven't watched the show before, what I really like about Nightingale is the fact that nowadays what they're doing is creating a real solution to a real problem. Nowadays, you go to your doctor, your physician, and they take handwritten notes, put it in a file folder, and stack it into files behind their desk that are, take up a whole wall. That to me is inefficient. More importantly, it's not great for healthcare because it takes longer to get to your medical records. Well, Nightingale is the leading electronic medical records, one of the fastest growing ASP medical technology companies in North America. This contract here is worth $475,000. It's with Healthcare South PC, a group practice about 45 healthcare providers at 11 private offices throughout Boston. Here's a quote that I really want to let you in on. Nightingale's healthcare solutions have helped us to increase our revenue and collections by 20% and level our days of accounts receivable to under 28 days. As such, expanding our relationship was a natural evolution. That comes from Julian Huang, who's president of Healthcare South. So whenever you have your client giving you such a great testimonial. You know things are going great. The company right now is trading at 38.5 cents. Moving back to the OTC, we've got LUCE Energy, trades on the stock symbol LUCE on the OTC bulletin board. They added significant oil production. What they did was they finally brought online, looks like RVS oil unit number 3 that has been shut down since December of 2001. Tests to date have produced 111 barrels per oil per day. Now in the past, 111 barrels of oil per day wouldn't amount to much, but with oil now over $90 a barrel, you're talking about $10,000 in revenue potential for the company per day. That's a big number. Take a closer look at LUCE Energy trading right now at $1.68. And finally, back to the TSX Venture. You can never go a day nowadays without talking about some kind of significant assay results. We've got Pacific Cascade Minerals, trades on the TSX Venture on the stock symbol PCV. They intersected a pretty significant Molly hole, and as usual with these things, I'm going to read it off for you. Hole number CM0705 had a weighted average over 195 meters of 0.053% Molly. However, within that 195 meters, you had some pretty big numbers along the way. Over a stretch of 44.6 meters, they had 0.196% Molly. Over a stretch of 18.9 meters, keeps going up, 0.396% Molly. Over a stretch of 7.78 meters, 0.936% Molly, and even over a stretch of 1.84 meters, they had 3.644% of Molly. That's a pretty good hole. Still more work to be done, and as always with these kind of drill results, I always ask our viewers to go take a closer look and read them for yourself. The company right now is trading at 33.5 cents. That's a wrap for the day. As promised, they're all great pieces of news. We couldn't really give up on any of those, so we took a little longer than usual, but no doubt you got some great research in your hand. As always, we'll post these notes to our blog. If you got some additional due diligence for the greater good, come by and post your thoughts. Otherwise, if you look for more great small cap companies, don't forget about the AGORACOM marketplace, where we've now got over 75 companies divided by industry and exchange, so you can find companies that are best suited for your portfolio needs. That's a wrap for the day. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow.